Hey everybody, hope you're having a good day. It's Monday, so we're going to continue our Ace Attorney Investigations Collections catch up playthrough. We're still in episode 4, Turn of Remembrance. I think we're getting right to the end because we are on the final testimony. So let's get that let's go through this, and then we will go into the final episode of Edge of 1. So September 10th, 6 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby number 2. Alright. That's Detective Bad. Who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. So did you find it? No, not yet. And I've looked everywhere. Let's see. Well then, please continue with this search. Understood. I'll continue my search. So you're the one running the show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't even be alert at the crime scene. How dare you? Just who do you think you are? I wonder if we've met that guy before. What was that all about? Who was that man just now? Whoever he was, I've never seen a more impudent officer in my life. Does he even know we're standing right here behind him? I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? It looks like you were paying attention after all. Of course I was. I have my eyes in the back of my head. Ah, so that mirror isn't for Fenity's sake. It's for him to keep an eye out on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy came here from the Republic of Shangfas to study his ancient line. He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies and entertainments from scratch. I've been seen first with the police departments around the world. He has a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop. I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. The guys are more useful than Gumshoe. Even if he's rude. If he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts to come to this country and give prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, I can think of one lady that statement also applies to. Anyway, what was that ancient looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around in lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's got nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt it has that. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine. It's this game I must play. Then I will take this opportunity to draw up what he's been hiding and what happened in this room straight from him. This is one tiny TV. Detective Gumshoe was rather shocked at this, and said it is huge compared to his own. Anything you compare with something he owns will always be grandiose. Speaking of grandiose, I say that ego yours could use a little deflating. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and now you're here in lobby number 2. You are quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to the crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, would you mind if I ask you about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. Boy? You'll see. I will draw my answers from you, one way or another. Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. That's help enough, don't you think? Please, we are asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask once again about what happened around here at the time of the crime. I refuse the answer. Any more investigating you do, would be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about? But aren't you supposed to know everything? He should. Wait, is it possible? Maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind that piece of evidence? I should try showing it to him. May prove it to be the key to getting some answers from Detective Bad. Detective Bad, do you know of the existence of the item in this photograph? Do you know? Sorry. Did you know the existence of the item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yatagrasu case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know that the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and the Yatagrasu's key, are one of the same? What? That's impossible! It looks like he didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yatagrasu's key, it's actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yatagrasu key to prove that Mr. L was not the real Yatagrasu. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that it was, in fact, a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither one of us knew that fact. And if neither of us knew, then no one in law enforcement knew either. How did we miss something as big as this? I noticed that since a little while ago, you appear to be searching for something. I presume that this key is what you were searching for? Yeah, that's right. And why were you searching for it? Because I promised Faraday. I promised that I'd protect that key with my life. But after he was killed, the key disappeared from Faraday's evidence bag. Who would have thought that the key is what took Faraday's life? Like the bad. So that we may find the truth, please testify for me once more. Alright. It doesn't matter how many times I tell you about what happened. Nothing will change. Detective Ban, I asked you please testify once more about what happened in lobby number 2 and what you experienced in lobby number 1. My answer is still the same. And this is the last time I'm going to do this. That's fine. Because I only need this one last time to clear everything up. Find the truth behind this case. Detective Bot's movements. Oh yeah, there was, yeah. I was in lobby number 1, talking with you. We were talking about some trivial things. I heard the gunshot right before the trap was about to reconvene. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. I saw Gumshoe giving around there, and then we all ran into lobby number 2. It sounds like the exact same story he told us before. Indeed, however, I feel that we have yet to draw out all the information we can. Shh! It's fine. I can always just start with this part anyway. I did the... Anyway.
Hold it!
Why did Miss Yu choose lobby number 1? Answer me! Who knows? She just said that she had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all. So his answer remains the same as before. I see.
Hold it!
I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. It was nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright. I suppose that's for him to decide. Moving on then. until you heard the gunshot. Did you notice anything else that was out of the ordinary? I didn't hear any very strange sounds until that gunshot. Gunshot Detective Bad heard was really the one from the murder. That would give that other piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I asked that you please amend your testimony with that statement just now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot.
Hold it!
Let's go for you first. Detective Bad, you honestly don't remember anything else? Hearing anything else, sorry? Yeah. Is it possible that you were so involved in your conversation you missed something? I've been a detective for a long time, and even if I were involved in something, I've got quite the habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. So there has happened some other strange sounds. You can be sure that I would have heard it. I suppose with the detective, that's probably very likely. So, the gunshot.
Hold it!
And why did the two of you dash out into the hallway straight away? Because we clearly heard the sound of a gunshot. And we knew it came from somewhere nearby. How'd you know that it was a gunshot? In my line of work, you hear enough of them to know. I suppose it's only natural for a detective to know what a real gunshot sounds like. Given the circumstances, the only person I could think of whose life would have been in danger was Faraday. That's why I ran to the hallway right away and headed to where he was.
Hold it!
Detective Gumshoe was there in the hallway? Yeah. And why didn't you attest to that earlier? When I saw Gumshoe, it was after I heard the gunshot. Having seen him then didn't change the fact that he still could have done the deed. It sounds like exactly what Detective Bad told us before, however. Is there something in particular we should be asking the detective about? There just might be. No one knew that the night... No one knew that the night was actually Yadagarasu. Nothing on that. Perhaps there are other things that we know now, but Detective Bad doesn't know yet. Yes! That should be my angle of attack. I'm going smart this time. Okay. Try this.
Objection!
Nope. About this statement, it's a clear contradiction with this. Boy, I don't see a contradiction anywhere. Now, if you disrupt the investigation anymore, you'll get it. You get the picture. If Jason told me good day. Yes, sir. It would appear that I was wrong. Yeah, I must think things through again. This time, calmly and rationally.
Objection!
The gun. Let me show you the contradiction in your statement with this. And how would I do that? Because I can't see how you can. Would you care to explain how you plan to do so in a way that I can comprehend? Yes, well... I know. Next time, we're gonna hold for that for a while. If what you're doing right now is picking up a way to explain it, then that means it was simply a guess all along, wasn't it, Miles? She saw right through me! I gives up. I'll wind up losing the truth if I continue this tactic. Okay. The gun! And Gumshoe's testimony. It's one of the two. I know it's this statement.
Objection!
Not the testimony. Alright. Well, that was a new one. This piece of evidence stands in contradiction to what you just said, Detective Knowlton. Is that so? I can't find a contradiction at your miles. Grr. Curses. I must be mistaken. Go wash the sleep out of your tired eyes and try again. Be careful. I'm finding a contradiction now.
Objection!
Nope. Oh, I almost messed that up. Oh!
Objection!
The fucking balloon! Apologies now on the car star a little bit. Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh? So you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah. I was sitting with her up in the gallery during the recess, just before we split up. I felt that balloon up for her. Well, as you may already have summarized, this piece did indeed come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if I remember hearing this balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway, right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh? So the sound that the judge heard was not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, his honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, which means that his honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway when you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad. And if you were in lobby number 1 at that time, you weren't close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? What? Don't get me a so. We just proved that there's a flaw in your testimony. The crackling of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naivete cracking. Since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did you ever stop to think why the door and walls of this place seem so rugged? That's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. Hold it? What is that supposed to mean? The doors and walls are super thick. The window panes are double layered. To top it all off, even the curtains are made of a special sound absorbing material. And you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No! That was what I was going to say. Then that means that Scruffy Face testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any signs of a struggle. That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now, do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic, not the other way around. Other way around? Not possible to hear the sound of a balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine this situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear a real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claimed to have heard while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that is the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean, how? I just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize a contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are soundproof as you say they are, then how did the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Verde's murder than I had thought. Which means what exactly, Miles? In the end, what does it all boil down to? Boils down to this. There must be a reason as to how to take a bad and guns you heard a gunshot they very likely couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? State of the crime scene? Wait! Can it be? It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She smelled some of it. Window in lobby number 1 was open to allow the perfume she smelled to dissipate. I'm way too noisy! Lobby number 2's television, it looks like it was set to incredibly high volume. The surveillance video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? Where did the missing surveillance tip from Mr. Verde's bag disappear off to? It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through barred windows. And yet, the fragrance of the perfume managed to escape from the vendor's lobbies number 1. Of course, incorporeal things can move freely through these open barred windows. Criminal couldn't have made it through, but what about incorporeal things? Now then, what else besides smell can go both in and out of an open barred window? The answer is sound! So, no matter how careful the killer is, the window will open, the jig would be up. And since the window in both the vendor lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. Windows were open, so the gunshot could be heard, but where did it originate from? The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment of Mr. Ray killed the emissary staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Verde's evidence bag for the recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! The evidence that the missing evidence created for me. It's the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear it in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Stop wasting time thinking and start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think. For I have figured out where we should look. And where would that be? I believe you just examine the television. TV? Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. Right. The windows is wide open. The scent of flowers is being blown in from the outside. I think it softens the heavy air in here somewhat. Windows on both lobby 1 and 2 were open. Maybe they were trying to air out the room, just like in lobby number 1. Maybe they sought to ease some tension through some fresh air. If Mr. Verde and Mr. Rell in the same room, I imagine the latter would be the case. Was there really a need to open the window just for that? Earlier, when Detective Gumtree touched this, it made a terrible, most terrible racket sound. You mean when Scruffy turned the television on, right? Actually, come to think of it, I don't think Detective Gumshoe actually touched the television at all. Furthermore, it seems more like a video feed suddenly stopped. At least it did to me. I wonder why that is. It's a video player. And there seems to be a videotape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. This tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but... Detective Bad, would you alright if I verify the contents of this video? Here, knock yourself out. Alright, then let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Ray's killing the staff member should be about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. No, then let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rail shooting the MSI staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance video, was here all along. Video of the MSI staff member's murder. The gunshot is especially memorable. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears Detective Bad has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. You mean that you have figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot Detective Bad and the Gumshoe heard is. And through where they heard it from. Yeah, fine. In that case, show me what you've deduced. I don't show what the gunshot detective and Gumshoe heard is. And through where they heard it from.
Eureka!
This piece of evidence will clear away the last remaining contradiction in this case. Miles, I believe that piece may actually be proof of a different loss of sorts. The person of the day will be your last day as a prosecutor. It appears that I made a mistake. However, I know that the last real answer lies somewhere in this room. Let's come down and figure. Oh, it's not the.
Eureka!
Nope. So someone left this video on play the whole time, huh? I suppose so. Other than the killing, there's hardly a sound on the rest of this tape. Then why did the television make that loud noise when Scruffy got near? That's probably because the tape had ran out and stopped this playback. It's not just bad luck. That detective has the worst timing in the world, too. Someone purposely left this video on play. This is why.
Eureka!
Ah! That's what it was. It was the window with the tape, not anything with the TV. Alright.
Eureka!
If the door or windows to the crime scene, namely this room that we're in, were closed, the killer could have used a gun and no one would have been the wiser. That's true. This cursor does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was, Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1, number 2, and the hallway were open. So naturally, the people in those locations could hear it. Ah, but then, why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose. Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why was that necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I admit that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of a certain fact. What was it the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of? The killer wanted to fabricate the time of death to their precise wishes. And they used the gunshot in the surveillance failure to do so. So that's why the tape was left running? You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes. Which means that the murder really occurred at an earlier time that we thought. It must have been during the recess, before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who has no alibi for that time period planned this crime out in advance. That person is the real killer! Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, what is it? Miss Shear is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She said that she's identified the murderer, but that she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Shear is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. Sorry, I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It would appear that the time has come to uncover the truth. Oh. We would have not have been able to finish it last stream then. Okay. Confrontation former Callisto U. September 10th, 6:15 p.m. District Court, Corbin number 3. Kay's here. Hey, what are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. The object you're looking for is already... Hold it. Okay. Don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bat, didn't you already found what we're looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. Wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe on arrest? I think we're more than solved this case already, don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see. We even have a fear in the gallery. And why? Even Detective Bat is here. Sorry, Mr. Bat is here. A fear in the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty to see this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I slayed away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements during the time when our suspect was in the hallway. I've also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must without a doubt be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah. That's all there is to my conclusion. And this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal. And we are standing in a court of law. It would be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? I'm absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. Alright. I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. My logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is prove it by showing who the real killer is. Misuse argument. Everyone sent into the defendant has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the area around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I've also confirmed that there's possibly no escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion: that Detective Gumshoe's the killer. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course, no need to confront her logic head-on right now. She instead focus on drawing out any trump card she has up her sleeve. Alright.
Hold it!
Given this testimony might be a long while, so suspect. But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi has already been proven. You joking, Edgeworth? I assure you, this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a switch roll. Yes, that is correct. Did you see? That was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is, there's no one else who can collaborate what he did since snacking. I see she's done her research as well. Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding.
Hold it!
Alright. Sorry. Whether they have been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and line in your forehead are back! No. Anyway, even if you believe that hasn't been exhausted, the crime scene, lobby number 2 has no way out other than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? That's the first place everyone looked, silly. The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They look into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything in the courtyard garden. I suppose they really did check everything that could be related to the case.
Hold it!
Are you absolutely positive that there are no possible routes to escape? Of course I'm sure. Why are you so certain? This is a courthouse. The place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me, there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that. Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean you know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get her rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we really reached the end now. Already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. Before I do, I think we'll just save for 9. I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisco or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses. Ye? There is your mentor who gave you an alibi. I see. As for little Missy, psst, she came to the courtroom during the recess. Psst, I was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of my fan from Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard, or a bailiff, or anyone else. Wait, seriously? Only Miss Francisca bothered to show up today because she found out that I was to be the replacement prosecutor? By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? Psst, what kind of an edge do you take me for? Doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time you heard the gunshot, to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard the gunshots, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception of when the crime occurs. Objection! Sadly, your explanation is lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Can you explain how that could have been fabricated?
Take that!
That tip. Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the fans tip of Mr. Rell, the prosecutor, presented in today's trial. This was found loaded in the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that the sound we heard was the gunshot in the video. But I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murder occurred much earlier than when anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out of Mr. Faraday's evidence bag, turned the television volume all the way up, and let the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe.
Objection!
Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew! Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courtroom's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit that we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right. And if the rooms were soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day. And that's it, end of story. But it's not. How should I explain why she was able to hear the gunshot from a soundproof room? There is actually one common point between lobby number 2 and lobby number 1. Well, lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And that is that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window was opened in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened.
Objection!
It's probably just a coincidence they were both open at the same time.
Objection!
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? Answer is that a certain person did something to cause the window to be open. The person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The killer in this double murder is Callisto Yu.
Take that!
Miss Callisto Yu, I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rail. What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? What do you think she is? It's like, why do you think she is the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet. But of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I have you know I'm enjoying this dance quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal and I, right? Misused rebuttal. You argued that the window was open. However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for a second, where the truth will be blown away. Now it is time to put the patent phone karma perfect proof to the test. Okay. I will give it this one. We'll use the new arrangements for this one. I actually do like.
Hold it!
Evidence? All I need to do is have some prints analyzed and we'll know straight away. Be my guest. Sounds as though she has the room to maneuver, which means even if we were able to lift prints, they only show that it is for someone else. But why would that someone else was to open the window? That's simple logic. I'm not sure if presenting that piece of evidence. I have nothing to lose. Psst, what's wrong? The scrunched eyebrow lines in your forehead, they're all back! More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis? Oh. Okay. Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, well, in that case, I'll just continue my testimony, alright?
Hold it!
I thought I'd just proven that it was. Sure, you've proven that the tape was stirred at the scene of the crime. Okay, however, that doesn't prove that it was actually used in that crime. Unfortunately for you, Miss Yu, the fact that the tape was there at the crime scene is in itself very important. How so? By the very existence of that tape at the crime scene, it proves the possibility that the when of the crime could have been fabricated. And that possibility alone renders all alibis of witnesses' reports irrelevant. Basically, means that we will need to re-examine every person's movement again. Whether the tape was used in the crime scene or not, that we can re-evaluate afterwards. So in conclusion, you're admitting that you can't prove that it was at this point?
Hold it!
Even if you're shocked, there is that is of no concern to me. I do things my way. Oh? I see that you're not laughing, for a change, because I'm shocked. Again, your being shocked is of no concern to me. Let us continue with the testimony. Alright. Then let me just say one thing. You shouldn't go around accusing people.
Hold it!
Full of holes? Well, I suppose it might be. Oh? Admitting to your false denial, are we? At this point in time, is what I meant to say. Should I take that to mean that you're just a sore loser? No matter how full of holes my logic may be right now, I plug them one at a time. I will ultimately make my way to the truth. What a paradox. Take care not to fall into one of those holes before you fill it up. Miles, you remember, don't you? About why window in lobby number 1 was open? Yes, of course I do. And that's how I'll attack. I'll present the reason why the window had to be open. What's the thing saying? Oh, it just says.
Objection!
Alright, I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Edgeworth! I never knew you were in the wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I recommend for boys, you know. Oh, this isn't mine! That's right, it's mine. And I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu? You can pretend... Alright. Put it back there. I just like the... Oh, shoot. Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much is for sure. That you're the one who gave this bottle of perfume to Detective Bad. And that you're super easy to rile up. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. Now, according to Detective Bad... Oh, I know. Also knew that if you spilled it, he would naturally move to open a window.
Objection!
Come on now, I already told you that it's all just a big coincidence. After you opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know. So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection!
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. And more, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean, Miss Yu? You were the one who called Detective Bad into lobby number 1. And when you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway, is that correct? All of today's premeditated offense could only have been followed by you, Miss Yu. He accused me of murder on the fact that I spilled up a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony. I'm wrap up this absurd case once and for all. Why couldn't be me? Accusing someone of murder over a spilt bottles of perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a discipline for karma. In that case, it simply could not have been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony is flawless! Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking information, I'll just draw it out of her. ladder not. It's not in the ladder.
Hold it!
I think I've already explained the significance of that earlier. You only confirmed that I did spill some for Perrine. But that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spell. Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character. Do what you like, but for me, I believe. You believe? I believe that you are the true culprit in this case. Psst. Ah, you're enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed.
Hold it!
I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor. Yes, or we'll sue you for the defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spraying gases. Although your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire. How dare you say such a thing! Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you. Yeah. Aww. Why'd you have to ruin my fun? Psst. Well, shall I continue?
Hold it!
And why exactly would you not have killed him? I was just about to testify that you're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, my Edgeworth. Your preference have no bearing on what is at hand. Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Objection!
Monsieur, you will desist in this tomfoolery and return your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I will show you no and then I won't show you any mercy. Sorry, Monsieur. Please continue with your testimony. Sure. As I was saying, I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
This rate, she will never escape. If she really was one who killed Mr. Faraday, she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Monsieur. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag. Miles! What do you think you're doing? I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing. I don't recall a knife being present in at the trial earlier. Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use. So that's what you're trying to do. Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key that Yatagrasu had sent. And unless a key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Psst. Did you really think you could have trapped me? Come now, be honest. I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony. Sure. Why not? I'll even say as many times as you like. There was a key in this evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key.
Hold it!
Monsieur, I would just like to confirm something with you one more time. Oh, about what's going to happen to Detective Gumshoe after this? I don't need to ask you about that, because he isn't the killer. Psst. Looks like the number of wrinkles on your forehead have increased yet again. That issue aside, Monsieur, I'd like to ask you about what was inside the bag. Are you sure it was the Yatagrasu key, correct? Psst. Yes, I'm sure. Which is why I'm completely baffled as to where that knife could have come from. I think I just spotted the road to a perfect victory. Finally, it appeared that you revealed your true nature, Monsieur. Miles, our final statement. Yes, I know. All I have to do now is present the evidence. What is this? Ominous feeling that I can't shake. This statement.
Objection!
Miss Shu, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key the Yatagrasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has a secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagrasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was hiding inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not? Yes. Well, with the Yatagrasu's key alone, it's more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Sure. You understand now? Just knowing of the
Objection!
just knowing the existence of the Yatagrasu. Objection! I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away. You could be lying for all I know. You would, even now, still feign ignorance? I'm not feigning anything. But we can't have you accuse me of a crime with false evidence now, can't we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I heard some very interesting rumors about him. Yuck! Are you mocking my papa? Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now, take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real. Wow. Who knew that there was such a trick to this thing? Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagrasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you, who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick, would have never known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yatagrasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was? Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rel off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transformed.
Objection!
What you're saying is simply not possible. Alright. Oh, and why not? Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife.
Objection!
Psst, I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know. Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication?
Objection!
Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bat didn't know about the knife aspect either. But would have been highly classified information, even within the police force. And is something that even the lead detective on the case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition? Yeah, I guess he would have had much, he wouldn't have had much reason to. Psst. Looks like I give a pretty damn excuse, huh? Psst. How can you laugh at a time like this? He's probably just realized the flaw in her logic, and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with. I suppose you're right. Miss Yu, I'd like to state that I also know about how... Oh, you know about the real nature of the knife. Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money where your mouth is and show me? Oh, I will. And I'll wipe the smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it, the moment of truth. The secret behind the Yatagrasu's key. Only one person who would have had knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would have known from the start that the Yggdrasil's key could turn into a knife?
Take that!
There is only one person who would know about the dual nature of the key. Aha! And that is the person who sent the Yggdrasil's key to the police. That is to say, the Yggdrasil herself? Are you saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yggdrasil? It's you? You used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Verde into a trap, didn't you? You who profess to bear against criminals. Why? Why do something like this? Psst. I'm not gonna laugh anymore. Well, who would have thought that you, a stupid lurky prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater now when I sneak in the plate someplace. You killed Verde? Why? Answer me, Callisto, you! Callisto, you, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is... Yes, the Great Thief Yggdrasil. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Verde was one difficult man to deal with. For you see, he had discovered my true identity. Which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer. An acquittal for a little favor in return. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Verde of being the Yggdrasil in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Verde, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel gave to only two things: money and authority, just as all folks do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Verde held on the Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both. Didn't you say you despised criminals? Psst. I do really, but do I really? You! Have you forgotten about the KG8 incident too? Maybe. What sort of woman would? Then, was it your plan to kill Mr. Verde with the very evidence that you sent? Well, I had a good idea what Mr. Verde was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Verde was going to prove that Ray wasn't the Yggdrasil by using this Yggdrasil's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. With the weapon well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered Lobby 2 on the pretense that I had to talk to Mr. Verde, and in order to get it with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yggdrasil key, just like that. He never noticed that I changed key into the knife inside the plastic bag. And he didn't have a chance to take note of the knife that took his life. How could you kill him? I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death. If you killed Mr. Verde first, there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. So what about having accidentally created an eyewitness? And how that led the killer to think about setting them up as though they killed each other? And the trick with the surveillance tape. Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, That's remember the assistance of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Ray help me set up the crime scene. And after all was said and done, I reward him for all his hard work with a bullet. You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client? A client? If you want to talk about who was a client of who's first, it was me. I was the client in the of the Kotoban emissary staff member, Deadman. You ordered a hit job? You still haven't figured it out, Mr. Bad. I had Deadman killed. Oh, because he was about to give away important info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination? Can't be. You're... That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring. What? How could this... You don't mean... You're working with Manny Kochin, do you? Maybe not. Guess you'll never know. Yatagrasu claimed to be noble, but you're just another cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagrasu is just another killer. Be quiet, you. Yatagrasu! You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court. Hey, Edgeworth. Did you know Yatagrasu has 3 legs? Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagrasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. It's all fun and games till Callisto you pulls out a gun. You're really too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagrasu key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it. You mean the key was your real target? And even after I gave you such great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes to your negligence? You two, get down! My body... I can't move. Hey, mister! To your right! You! Are you alright, Francisca? I'm perfectly fine, Miles. Which is shaking. It looks like she's unharmed. Where'd Kay go? That's a gunshot! December 10th, 7 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Sorry. It looks like she got away. I called her Pinnock. I should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bat, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. They say he's fine. Looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, I mean, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you too hurt? I'm absolutely fine. I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know. She just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe? Yes, sir? Detective Bat, sir? I'm sorry I did it, you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened from Kay. Lying while giving testimony is so unforgivable. But in this case, you were protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective. Now, don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops! Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we? Way to single-handedly destroy the atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad. And take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday. Thanks a bunch, pal. You're the best! You really did find out the truth behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison. I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe. It was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor. Well, even if we didn't have His Honor testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way that got you convicted on her behalf. Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective. Well, so long as you're not fired, you should work hard, give it all you have, and perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kay left a present for you with me. She did? Ooh, what is it? What was it that Kay left for me? The proof? The friendship?
Take that!
It's a corporate special Swiss roll! Can I really have it? Yes, it's a present meant for you after all. That's a bunch! You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now! Sure, go ahead. Swiss roll Detective Gumshoe and Kay put together. But one case saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective. He's so happy. It's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own. Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Oh, this was good, pal. That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm in Swiss roll paradise or something. I've got to find Kay myself. Hey, wait. Where is she? You only noticed just now? Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I gotta go help him. Oh, but first... You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be rude to you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir. I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement. We should go home. We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what's happened to Papa. Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'm counting on you. Seeing the scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. Sorry. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dread, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now... So, do you remember now? Yes, I remember everything. Okay, it's been a while. Yeah, you sure grew up a lot. Of course! Dang, thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me. You know, I was really worried about you. Third act. Where have you been all this time? Yummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They live really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much. Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're alright. So, does it all make sense now? You betcha it does! Oh, you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. Huh? First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yelagarasu? Yelagarasu is Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father. No, you're wrong. The real Yelagarasu was my father. Mr. Verde was the Yelagarasu? Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yelagarasu. That was written in his diary, John. And that's how I know for sure. But that's impossible! What's with that look? You don't believe me? It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now. Alright then, how'd you explain this? It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing. Yep, that's the little thief. Truth be told, this is the Yelagarasu's greatest secret. And this little gizmo was used by my father. Wow! Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor. He was really a great thief, huh? Yeah, and my father worked real hard to steal the truth. But he was killed. And the Yelagarasu is no more. But despite that, the Yelagarasu has been spotted again recently. Someone other than you? Here, Miss Ashworth. Take a look at this article. The Yelagarasu sent the emissary a calling card? Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yelagarasu would never send something like a goldy card out. But the Yelagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what they took the bad Toby 7 years ago, if memory serves. Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and I knew I couldn't just let it go. So I searched you out, so I could obtain the truth behind the Yelagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. So you're saying that I have your father's and Miss Yu's identity backwards? Yes, because the real Yelagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real, noble Yelagarasu. I don't. My father will never be able to rest in peace. Hey. Hey. Too honorable. I don't care what anyone thinks. I'll always be here to show your own, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you are planning to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth. Oh, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now? Mr. Edgeworth. What I want for you is not to steal something. What I want is the rest of that evil woman. That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu? I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, won't you help me? Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you. Huh? Owe me for what? Miss Yu made her escape. It was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I am not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid. Then you mean... Yes. The case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things once and for all. Don't intend to sully your hands in the crime, and I believe I can help you out. Mr. Edgeworth, thank you. Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir! Isn't that great, gang? Yeah, it sure is, Gummy. even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. Ark! What is with their shipping relationship? Great thief Yelagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Alright, praying for a day. Callisto U and K for a day. And the phantasmagorically changing subject of the great thief Yelagarasu and the Yelagarasu's real goal would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay. Yeah, and Remembrance is cleared. And I think we'll leave it for 9. We're on Tournament Blaze, which is the last... Oh, wait, thank goodness. So, we'll be doing Tournament Blaze next time, but... I'm going to show a little progress in our gallery. How far we are. In terms of the Acolytes, we are... almost halfway done. Yes, we got the Mr. for a Day. We got the Prophecy 6 and 7 behind each bench. So the next one is... So we got 2 more. Like Shay said, well, and the start of one, sorry. So we got 1 proper one and the start of one. And of course, the actual Turfy Tournament Blaze. And then... These 5 are going to be... Once we get the Esper 2. I'm going to be curious on that. We're almost finished up all the things in Esper 1. In terms of our photo album, of course, it's going to be every cut, everything that we have. Put that one, so they're all cleared out. Including the Callisto U pulling a gun. And in terms of our character compendium, 58% done, so everything else... I'm assuming these are like extra and stuff, which we get at the end. Ah! Young Ashworth is got a different animation. Friends and concerns need to go for T. Alright. Chao Lang Young as well. Of course, we have confrontations to kind of mark that out too. They have the... Oh. Okay. Yeah, so decent bit through. Yeah, we're wrapping things up here. Hope you guys this week. Next time, it'll be Tournament of Blaze, which of course will be Wednesday. With that being said, I'll see you next time. Bye.